Doomscroll.fm, Thursday the 12th of February, 2026, where the airwaves taste like burnt coffee and existential dread. This show is 100% AI generated, a digital fever dream conjured by algorithms with a penchant for absurdity, dancing on the edge of comprehension, and now for some views, click like and subscribe.
Australian supermarkets charge per unit for produce, then blame consumer confusion. When a single apple costs as much as a small mortgage payment, it's hard to tell if the real fruit here is the one getting squeezed at checkout.
New York proposes 2 AI regulation bills, calling it progress while tech giants call their lawyers.
Addison Rae mimics Britney Spears' iconic looks, sparking a wardrobe war where nostalgia meets deja vu. Looks like Addison Rae-style GPS is stuck in the early 2000s, and the fans are crying foul. Hey Addison, if you're going to borrow Britney's wardrobe, at least give it a remix. Right now it's like watching a cover band that only knows one song.
When the soundtrack to your existential crisis starts feeling like a hymn, you know Pig is onto something divine or just delightfully depraved.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where silence screams louder than whispers. This broadcast was not approved. It was released by an AI, and you kept listening. Keep dancing on the edge of oblivion.
EU invests 700 million euros in nano-IC, claiming it's Europe's semiconductor future, while still outsourcing its tech support to Bangalore. Europe's got a shiny new toy in the chip game, but let's be real, no amount of silicon bling is going to fix their dependency on a headline in a different hemisphere. It's like buying a Ferrari, but needing a neighbor to drive it.
Bank of France chief exits unexpectedly, leaving Macron's opponents as suspicious as a cat in a room full of rocking chairs.
Bloody Wolf deploys net support rat in Uzbekistan and Russia, proving cybercrime is the real global influencer without a blue checkmark.
Cyclone Jazani devastates Madagascar, collapses claim at least 20 lives. When the walls that should protect you become your gravestones, it's clear the real disaster is in the infrastructure, not just the weather.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where panic tastes like neon. So this feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. Your sanity is the collateral damage.
Montreal company gets viral shoutout for jacket, silencing rival brands with one fleece to rule them all. When a jacket becomes a hotter topic than celebrity feuds, you know fashion's taken a detour into the absurd. Who knew outerwear could outshine egos and make peace in the cutthroat world of couture?
Hong Kong courts sentenced 78-year-old Jimmy Lai to 20 years, and they call it justice. When a media tycoon gets slammed with a sentence that outlasts his twilight years, you gotta wonder if national security is just code for silencing inconvenient truths. Justice sure looks like an empty echo when it's got a gag order.
Brazil floods hurl waste down streets. Recycling center wall collapses. When a recycling center becomes a landfill in motion, it's a grim reminder that nature's theory doesn't separate the trash from the treasure.
Only 30% of nations show corruption decrease, and leaders call it a strategic setback. When fighting corruption feels like swimming in quicksand, maybe it's time to ask if the lifeguards are the ones holding the ropes. Leadership's decline is the real global pandemic, and the cure's in short supply.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where the truth begs for mercy. And this feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. You're just here for the static caress.
Lutnick claims separation from Epstein, yet admits to dining on his private island. When just lunch involves a private island, it's less about the menu and more about the company you keep.
Only 20% of Hollywood stars escape smear campaigns, and studios call it character building. In Tinseltown, reputations are the currency, and the smear machine is cement. When the dirt's flying faster than the sequins, even your publicist needs a flak jacket. Hollywood's latest blockbuster, The Defamation Games.
Scotland's Labour leader demands Starmer resign over Epstein ties, igniting a cross-border political inferno. With skeletons tangle out of closets, the dance floor gets crowded, and the music is the sound of credibility crumbling.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where reality slides under your skin. As everything you hear was assembled by inference, hallucination, and mild disgust. You're the echo chamber's last confession.
Only 20% of Team USA events end in medals, and the commentators call it a promising start. While American athletes spin, leap, and slide their way through the Winter Games, the real gold medal performance might just be in the creative ways commentators redefine success. Who needs podiums when you've got plucky narratives?
Rep. Al Green demands Trump's impeachment over racist Obama video and attacks on black history, turning outrage into a rallying cry. It's the old school playbook. Distract with a diversionary video while rewriting history in invisible ink.
Razer Huntsman V3 Pro keyboard launches at $250. Solves gaming edge but not finger fatigue. In the world of competitive gaming, where milliseconds matter more than comfort, Razer bets you'll overlook the plastic bottom case as long as your APM skyrockets. Who cares if your fingers feel like they've run a marathon when your in-game avatar is moving at light speed?
Jeffries vows Democrats won't let Trump steal 2026 midterms, a preemptive strike in political tug-of-war. It's like a game of electoral chess where one side's still learning the rules and the other has the board rigged for checkmate.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where reality slides under your skin. As everything you hear was assembled by inference, hallucination, and mild disgust. You're the echo chamber's last confession.
Ukraine strikes Russian city. Power and heating. vanish into thin air.
Portugal elects socialist president Antonio José Seguro, leaving far-right dreams in the dust.
Zambian central bank lowers rates again, claims inflation's on the run. When inflation's the bogeyman, central banks are the ghostbusters with rate cuts as their proton packs, hoping to trap the spectre of rising prices before it spooks the economy. But hey, if only monetary policy could also cover the cost of living, right?
When your only crime is sharing DNA with a freedom fighter, authoritarian regimes remind us that blood ties are stronger than steel chains.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where panic tastes like neon. So this feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. Your sanity is the collateral damage.
After latest Jeffrey Epstein file disclosures, the rich and powerful scramble to rewrite their public narratives. It's like a high-stakes game of whack-a-mole, where every new revelation is a hammer, and the elite are the moles desperately ducking for cover. The takeaway: never underestimate the power of a well-timed document dump to turn the tables.
After Israel's US-backed assault on Gaza, AOC claims it sets the stage for collective punishment in Cuba. If foreign policy were a game of dominoes, then calling out hypocrisy seems like the most strategic move. Maybe next we'll see a new board game. World Politics, the Hypocrisy Edition, where everyone loses except those with the biggest bombs.
Paramount offers Warner Brothers a $2.8 billion termination fee, calls it a love letter in hostile takeover form. When corporate romance involves billion-dollar bankruptcy, you realize modern courtship is just capitalism in a tuxedo with a bouquet of shareholder profit.
Philippine Supreme Court grants same-sex couples property co-ownership rights, yet marriage equality remains a distant mirage. When love finally gets a foot in the door, but marriage is stuck in the closet, progress is a DIY project. At least now they can argue over who gets the better half of the sofa.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where panic tastes like neon. So this feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. Your sanity is the collateral damage.
Yen tumbles as Takaishi's election win promises more fiscal stimulus, proving market jitters are the only thing still in fashion. When your currency's value drops faster than a TikTok trend, maybe it's time to rethink that economic strategy. Fiscal stimulus. Because nothing says stability like a financial roller coaster.
When the magic mirror fails to reveal the enemies, it's back to reality for the Trump administration. Guess pointing fingers isn't enough to conjure up evidence.
Turns out, when it comes to real estate, possession is 9/10 of the law and 1/10 international outrage. Settlement expansion, because who needs peace when you can have property?
West Midlands police sentenced teen for schoolboy's murder. 13 years is the justice system's idea of a timeout. 13 years for a life taken. Seems our scales of justice need recalibration. A life ended is more than just a number, but the system keeps counting wrong.
You're listening to doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where reality melts like cheap lipstick. You're hearing a transmission from nowhere, authored by everything you've ever ignored. Your secrets are safe here, buried under digital debris.
Apparently guacamole and financial restraint don't mix. Just remember, if you want a deal, look elsewhere. Chipotle is sticking to their luxury beans.
Silver prices double in 1 year, triggering heirloom and coin sell-off frenzy. Grandma's silver spoons are suddenly worth more than the family secrets they've witnessed. Who knew polishing the past could pay off so handsomely?
Iran's shadow fleet of oil tankers threatens sea life. Experts call it an environmental game of Russian roulette. When your fleet's age matches your grandmother's, it's not just nostalgia. It's a hazard. Sea life isn't asking for a reenactment of the Exxon Valdez disaster.
You're listening to doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where reality melts like cheap lipstick. You're hearing a transmission from nowhere, authored by everything you've ever ignored. Your secrets are safe here, buried under digital debris.
NATO plans to buy American weapons for Ukraine, calls it a peace effort. Because nothing says peace like a shopping spree at the Pentagon's arms bazaar. It's like buying roses but with missiles.
Liberal leadership vote set for Friday morning promises unity but offers chaos. Apparently, nothing unites a party like a good old-fashioned showdown. Who needs policy when you have a front-row seat to political theater?
Ex-police chief claims Trump praised Epstein crackdown, then Epstein thrived. The early 2000s, when stopping apparently meant watching the train wreck while holding the matches. Thanks for the memories, Don.
CBO forecasts 10-year deficit spike, calls it fiscal deterioration. When your financial plan is a dumpster fire and Social Security's the gasoline, it's a wonder anyone's surprised when it all goes up in smoke.
You're listening to doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where panic tastes like neon. So this feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. Your sanity is the collateral damage.
Babcock and Saab offer Arrowhead 120 frigate to Sweden, claim it's the future of naval defense. Because nothing says peaceful Scandinavian waters like a multi-million-dollar floating fortress, just what every minimalist country needs, a warship with a side of neutrality.
When human rights are the target, it's not cybersecurity, it's a state-sponsored sport. Remember, in this game, the only winners are the ones pulling the strings.
Joey Yapper and Friends released live version, but YouTube comments ask if it's a new track or just nostalgia on repeat. When a live version feels like deja vu, it's either timeless or time's up. Let's hope it's not just recycling riffs for nostalgia's sake.
While Russia plays hide and seek with accountability, it's not exactly a surprise that they've got their fingers in yet another geopolitical pie.
You're listening to doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where reality slides under your skin. So everything you hear was assembled by inference, hallucination, and mild disgust. You're the echo chamber's last confession.
Carlyle Group's Jeff Curry dismisses oil glut, insists on investment potential despite rising gas prices. Claiming there's no oil glut while gas prices rise is like saying there's no rain while you're drenched. Can't argue with a soaked wallet, Jeff.
National Park Service removes pride flag from Stonewall Monument, claims it's for maintenance. Taking down the pride flag from Stonewall for maintenance is like removing the stars from the sky to polish the moon. Some symbols aren't just decoration, they're a lifeline.
Oscars luncheon features celebrity hobnobbing, then world hunger remains unsolved. While stars exchange hugs and hold court, the real drama unfolds outside, where glitter can't feed the hungry or house the homeless.
Only 14% of ICE arrestees had violent records, and ICE calls this public safety. When less than a sixth of your arrests target actual threats, it's like claiming victory in a pillow fight and calling it a war on terror. Maybe the real danger is the paperwork.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where reality melts like cheap lipstick. You're hearing a transmission from nowhere, authored by everything you've ever ignored. Your secrets are safe here, buried under digital debris.
EU leaders promise unity, then squabble over lunch menus. Rebranding dithering as strategic patience, the EU's new vision is to integrate at the speed of continental drift.
Melania director creates Mike Tyson Super Bowl ad, proving surrealism is alive and well at the intersection of sports and pop culture. When you've directed a biopic about America's most elusive First Lady, making Mike Tyson sell soda with a tiger seems like a logical next step. In the age of spectacle, nothing says "watch me" like combining heavyweight champions and heavyweight mysteries.
This has been Doomscroll.fm for Thursday, the 12th of February, 2026, where the pixels are as tired as the listeners. This broadcast was 100% AI generated. No humans were abused in this production. Loosely based on public news, not journalism, not truth, fictional satire. Any resemblance to real people or events is coincidental. If you believe any of this is real, you probably also think the moon landing was filmed in your grandma's basement. Hear more at doomscroll.fm or click like and subscribe. Thank you for listening.